Hello and welcome to Voices of the 21st Century Author Spotlight, a show dedicated to sharing the messages of women from around the world who show up and share their truth. My name is Gail Watson. I'm founder and CEO of Women Speakers Association, and I'm excited to have this conversation that we're going to be having today. Think to yourself right now, have you ever thought, how am I going to do it all today? Right? Been there, done that. We're going to have a conversation about what to do with this question and how to answer it. I have the proud honor of introducing to you international best-selling author and intentional living expert Megan Miller. She is co-author of Voices of the 21st Century, Women Transforming the World, which this book has reached number one in 4 different countries and went number one in 10 different categories. Please join me in welcoming the amazing Megan.
Yeah, that is quite an intro, my sister. I love the way you rattle that off the tongue. It is amazing to be here. It's been amazing to link arms with these 44 other women and courageously share our stories. There is so much power in that. And I think when you are able to vulnerably, courageously, authentically share the journey that you've been in, the life tattoos and the moments that brought you to your knees, what you learned on the other end of that, it lets people know wherever they are in their journey, they're not alone. And the world can feel so lonely at times, can it?
It sure can. And you are an intentional living expert. First of all, I love that title. And you bring a lot of great compassion and enthusiasm and a beautiful smile with it. So you share this story. I mean, you start off with going, "Can we do it all today?" I mean, what?
Mm,
And this is something. Yeah, we ask ourselves almost every day. I mean, what inspired you to share this story?
mm. I have to tell you, it's so funny to hear you say, "Yeah, you are an intentional living expert." Because, Gail, for the longest for the longest time in my life, I was just barely hanging on, trying to get through the day. And I think that happens to so many of us. Somewhere along the line with your life, you get in the passenger seat, circumstances behind the wheel, and you're buckled up and you're just barely trying to make it through the day. And to answer your question on, how do we do it all? We set these unrealistic expectations for ourselves, don't we? You think that you are superhuman and you can do 86,000 things in a day. And when you don't, because newsflash, you are human, you ridicule yourself for the things you didn't do, never once saying, you know what? You did the best you could today. So I would say to the woman that is listening, that is waking up every day like it's Groundhog's Day and thinking, how am I going to do it all? I have to do more because I didn't get my list done yesterday, ridiculing yourself for the things you didn't do. I would say, my friend, I want you to take a moment. I want you to look at that task list and I want you to see where any commitment is for you on there. One small commitment to you can change the way you show up.
I love that. So I know this is what you do in your business, and how you help others really break free from that Groundhog Day, as you call it, or the sometimes we know it as the hamster wheel, where we're just it's wake up and rinse and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
And I got that from your chapter. And I mean, what motivated you to go into the type of work that you're doing? Is it from
Yeah.
your own personal experience, or was it from what you were seeing out there in the world?
Yeah. Thank you for that. I will tell you, I was addicted to achieving. So the chapter title is called Detoxing Off the Drug of Achievement. And the reason that I am so passionate about this, Gail, is because I've been addicted to this drug for a long time. And we never talk about it because it's air quote good. You're trying to climb up the corporate ladder. You're trying to do the best that you can for your family, for your friend group, for your partner, right? So you become addicted to this achieving. That was my life for 15 years. I had lived my life under I'll be happy when. You ever do that? I'll be happy when I get the next promotion. I'll be happy when I fit in this size jean. I'll be happy when I get the relationship. I'll be happy when I get the car, when I get the kitchen renovation, so forth and so on. And then you get there and you're like, that's not it. So it must be something else. So you're sprinting up this ladder that's you versus you, and there's no end in sight. And so for 15 years, I was addicted to getting this corner office job that was going to make me happy, dealing with things on surface level like we so quickly do. And what I realized, Gail, is life had to bring me to my knees. I get the promotion. A few months later, I have a mental breakdown alongside the major highway going in and out of the city of Philadelphia. Like the worst place to have a mental breakdown. And I realized in that moment, as I'm popping the Lexapro, as I'm binge drinking, as I'm overspending, as I'm cut off from my friends and family, just trying to numb myself, hating the silence, but yet I have the corner office job, that my whole life, Gail, was spent running from me, never taking the time to dial back and realize that I was a chubby kid from Central PA with a speech impediment, C student raised by a superhuman single mother who worked two jobs. I had 600 SAT scores, lied about that. And so the first thing that ever made me feel worthy and good was this job. And then I was addicted to it. And I think so many of us spend our lives in that addiction cycle of whether that be running to the booze, running to the food, running to the job, running to the safe harbor because you're uncomfortable with the silence.
There's a lot, just as you listed off, the pains, the
Mm,
damage that comes from this addiction. And I know there's people listening right now and hearing your words going, that's me.
yeah.
That's me. And well, can we give them some reassure? Is it easy to break free of this cycle? Or what kind of work does it take to break free from this?
I love this question, Gail. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because yes, we know these things. And is awareness a gift? Absolutely, absolutely. Because when you know better, you can do better. But in this world of information that is at our fingertips, we don't know where to start. And we are tired and we are exhausted. And you feel like you're carrying a boulder up a mountain by yourself. So if you're like 95% of humans, you want to stay in the lane of certainty and significance and still do the stuff that you know you shouldn't, but it gives you that certainty. So you send the emails late at night, you stay in the loveless relationship, you pour the extra drink, you eat the 75th Oreo, hand raised. That's my go-to. How can you ever have one Oreo? And so we never start. And that is why I'm a huge believer in the power of these micro steps. And I list these micro steps in the chapter, these three things, and they are simple. Do not defute the simplicity of them. It's often the simplest things we know we should do that we don't do. So these three keys, I'll give you a little sneak peek. One is making time for you. Making time for you, Gail, to your previous question about how am I going to get it all done today? In your task list, where are you on the list? And I'm not talking about the nails. I'm not talking about the bubble bath. I'm not talking about the boozy brunch. All of those things are great. I'm talking about these small things that'll change how you show up because you're the common denominator in everything in your life. And what I mean by that is, are you getting up when the alarm rings? Are you keeping that promise to yourself? Or are you like 96% of us and you sleep with the phone by your nightstand? For me, it was under my pillow and I would just hit the snooze and snooze and snooze and snooze. Are you keeping that commitment to you before you let the rest of the world in? Are you taking some time to free your thoughts and put them into pen to paper? Just 3 minutes, Gail, 3 minutes of rolling over, cracking open that eyelid, grabbing the phone and going to the email, going to the social feeds, going to the news. You will have a 70% higher chance of having a bad day. So are you making time for you?
Okay, Megan. Wow, you are speaking directly to us right now. And you know what's almost sad about that is how much or and how many of us are in that addictive mode.
Mm, mm-hmm.
That's the, as you speak your truth with such power and conviction and relatable tasks that we do, it's bringing up that awareness going, "Oh yeah, I do that. Oh yeah, am I addicted?" So aware. I think it's time we need to get a copy of your book, Megan. There's men. So where can we get a copy of your book?
Please get a copy of the book, and I know that you will find so many nuggets, so much beauty in these chapters written by 44 of my sister authors and myself. There is really something for everyone in this book. Please go to Megan, Megan hyphen Miller, Miller.com. You can get the book. You can listen to the podcast. You can join our micro step community where we share these little micro steps that'll change how you show up. Because when you work on you, you read the emails differently. You show up at the boardroom differently. You show up at the dining room table differently. Your finances change. Your health and wellness changes because it all starts with you.
You are definitely a woman we need to know. We need Megan in our back pocket. Absolutely, 100%. So I would encourage anybody listening right now, if Megan is speaking to you and everything that she has described is you, uh, do get a copy of her book. Reach out, go to her website. There's a lot of other services,
Mm-hmm.
ideas, strategies that you can connect with Megan on. Check her out. It's at megan-miller.com. You can and you can learn more. Now, Megan, as I was reading your story, there was one line that really caught my attention,
Ooh.
and it was, what is the one thing I can do within the next 24 hours? And could you explain a little bit behind that before we get into what I want to leave with is final words of wisdom? But I would like to just get some background on that one.
I love this question. You are dropping some great questions, my friend. Not your first rodeo. So, the way at the end of the chapter, the ask is, as you read these words, as you think that's me, as you're like, I don't know where to start. And I share with you these 3 steps that I have done consistently that have changed how I show up. I have an ask of you to do one thing for yourself, make a commitment, one thing for you within the next 24 hours. And the reason that I ask you to do that is because when you make a promise to yourself and when you keep it, you have just broken through the biggest a-hole that any of us have. And that is the stories you tell yourself up here in your mind. And we are trained on what to think, not how to think. So you tell yourself these just ridiculous lies about how much you suck, you fail, you can never do that all day long. I just read, Gail, just this morning, that the average person has between 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day, and 80% of those are hardwired for negative. You can rewire that, but it takes intention. It does not happen organically. So when you make the promise and you keep it, you are rewiring the conversation you have in your head about yourself. It's called the habit loop. I think it's so interesting. Google it. It's such a fascinating scenario that happens in your brain. And the other reason I ask you, dear reader, to make this commitment to yourself is because isn't the first thing that we cancel off our lists all damn day long the thing for us? And when you make, and it can even be something as simple as going to the DMV, Gail, I can't tell you how many license I had expired, how many doctor's appointments I was late to. Hell, I even took the dog to the doctor more than I did myself. So you will do things for other people all day long. And when you do that, when you put yourself on the back burner and you put everyone else's wants, needs, expectations of you all day long, that's when you have those Darth Vader moments. So just a few minutes. So for instance, let me give you an example because I love a tangible step. So you woke up this morning and you thought to yourself, I really want to move my body. It's a beautiful day outside. It's springtime here in the Northeast of the United States. It's a beautiful time. Flowers are reemerging and just a great time to get outside. And you said, you know what? I'm going to do it at lunch. All your calls ran over. 'Tis life. And it's 12:30. Instead of thinking to yourself, screw it, it's too late now, I'm not going to do it, you do it. If you always wanted to write the blog, if you loved photography, if you want to do the salsa dancing class, but it's at 4:30 on a Tuesday, instead of automatically being like, that won't work, can't do that, can't sign up for that, can't get out of work on time, got to get my kid food, can't do it. You make the commitment and you go and you figure it out because, my friend, everything is figure outable. And in your days where you are keeping commitments to everybody else, why wouldn't you make and keep one small promise to you?
You are beautiful. I just love what a gift you are to this world.
Oh, I love you too, girl. I love you
Seriously,
too.
because with this title, Women Transforming the World, I
Mm,
mean, it is you.
mm,
You're taking what you've learned, what you've gone through, and not keeping it to yourself, but sharing it with others and helping people break this addiction.
yeah.
This is what will transform us when we can break free and be in that place. Megan, you're awesome. You're
So are
just
you. Takes one to know
awesome.
one. It takes one to know
You're
one. I
just
was
too
just saying
kind.
to a friend earlier today, don't, this is one of, I love this gift of life. And I think we're so quick as we're
Mm.
sprinting through life to not be aware of these beautiful little gifts. And I think good humans connecting with good humans, I always say purposeful, badass, authentic humans always have a find a way of connecting to each other. And I think that's such a gift of life. So I'm so honored to be connected with you and this beautiful community. Really.
Thank you. And it's an honor to have you within this community. 100%. So, Megan, this has been a fantastic conversation. I've learned a lot and would love you to leave us with your final words of wisdom.
Mm. I could be on here all with you all day long. We should turn this into like a 24-hour party. So I will say this, Gail, and thank you for that question. Here's what I would leave you with, dear, dear, dear listener. If you have that inner gut whisper that you know that your life was meant for more, and you are scared shitless because you don't know where to start. So you keep staying in the lane. Here's what I want you to know. I see you. I know you. I am you. And you don't have to have it all figured out. My friend, you don't. We so often think we need to have all of these answers before we can make the move. I'll do it when, I'll do it when. Here's the thing, you don't have to have it all figured out. What is meant for you cannot miss you. But what you need to do is lean into those little gut whispers because they are there for a reason. And it is my hope that this community, the struggles that I had for so long, I lived my life behind a mask. I never felt that I was good enough. I questioned myself at all costs. I was addicted to everything and anything. I was so focused on getting you to like me. And this community is meant for you to know that you're not alone and you don't need to struggle alone. Where you have been, someone has been, and they can give you the keys to unlock your truth.
Beautiful, Megan. Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you for the gift of you to everyone. All right.
Right back at you.
So I want to thank our listeners for joining us today in this amazing conversation. And please go check out Megan at megan-miller.com. You want to get to know her. You want to see all that she's doing. Connect with her. It's pretty friendly, pretty fun. Keeps you on your toes, laughing. She knows you. She is you.
And not afraid to rock some cheetah. So listen, if you like a little cheetah, come on in.
Who doesn't love cheetah?
Right?
All right.
Mm.
Thanks so much for joining us today. And wherever you are in this world, make it a great day.